Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 898. We are two away from the big 900. That'll come on 898 Wednesday because there's no Hobby Evolution tomorrow, no Hobby Evolution on Monday. So I'll be back on Tuesday for episode 899. That's because this is Annawan Fun Days weekend. I have a long history with Annawan Fun Days, so I'll give you a little rundown. If you weren't watching the show last year, I probably did the same a year ago. So what's going on? Yesterday was another good day at the house. Progress being made. Siding is being put up on the back of the house. The plywood did not come early enough yet. It was supposed to be delivered at like 10 a.m. yesterday. For the screened porch. It didn't end up showing up until like 1:30, so that set the guys back on the porch. But that'll be up. They're going to come early. We're going to have a string of hot days and on a hot roof. It's not good. So they're going to come early on Monday, get that plywood up, start shingling. Hopefully it'll be roofed by the end of day Monday. What else is going on? We've got finished up the tiling, I believe, in the guest bath. Electricians are still there working. Trim carpenters were there yesterday working in the basement. So things are coming together. We have like 6 weeks until move-in, which is like scary as hell. Look behind me. That's why it's scary as hell. And I'd love to start moving stuff over, but I've got to wait for the trim carpenters to finish downstairs, and the painters come back for the final coat. So I've got to wait for all that. So I would love to start hauling some cards over, just some of my back stock stuff to put in the unfinished what's going to be the card storage room. But I just and I need to order some shelving units too, because I'm going to have to. I think I counted out how many I needed. I should have wrote that down. Write it down. So I'm going to have to order at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 of those are probably going to go in the other area. I'm going to have to order like 10 or 12. So I've got a lot of these shelving units. So that's what was going on yesterday. Got my hair trimmed. I go to Great Clips, and my goodness, it is so hard. We've had, I think, and I should probably just find a different hair cutter, but I am like, and it's not really loyalty, although I do get a much better haircut at this particular Great Clips as opposed to the others that were actually closer. I mean, there were some where it's like, this is my first haircut. And I'm like, oh my goodness, which I don't mind because it's hair. It's going to grow back. If they cut it too short, it'll grow back. But if they cut my ear off, that's an issue. I don't care about the hair, but my ears are sensitive. So I've been driving like out of my way. When we move, I'm going to be like 2 miles further from where I'm already driving out of my way to get my hair cut. So, and they're like the only Great Clips open. So their line is always like 2 hours long. So yesterday I'm like, I'm going to check in early at like noon, and you couldn't check in because it was already over 2 hour. Once it gets to a certain point, they won't allow you to make any check-ins. So I'm like, I need a haircut because my hair was popping out of my hat and it's just annoying. And then I'm going to be outside like all weekend. I'm going to be sweating. And when your hair's like, when you have a lot of hair, a lot of sweat, and it's just nasty. So I just need to shorten it up. And so I just decided to keep the online check-in screen on my open tab. And I'm like, I'm just going to refresh it, every once in a while. And finally, like an hour later, like 1 o'clock, I hit refresh, and it was like, it was about 1 o'clock. So 3 o'clock. So it was still 2 hours. It was like 111 minutes. And I'm like, okay. But then I couldn't find like my place in line. Like you can refresh to see where your updated wait time is. And it was still 111 minutes. What in the hell? So I came back and it's getting to be like 2:30. It's like a half an hour away from my time. I click on like, send me a text. And I didn't get any text. Like I figured I'd get a text message just to say, hey, here's your confirmation. We'll let you know when it's the 15-minute warning. Never got one of those warning messages. So I came back again and I'm like, one last ditch effort. Click it again. In like 3 minutes later, I get a text. Hey, you're up next. Be here in 15 minutes. So I got there. There were two guys in front of me, even after like a 2-hour wait. But I didn't have to wait too long. I had to wait like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Got my hair cut. So I probably will have to, especially when we move, because it's going to be even further away. I'm going to have to go to, because I think the other nearest, there used to be a Great Clips. The one that was really bad was on Odana Road, which most of you probably are like, where the hell is that? I mean, it was the closest to where I am now. And then there was one in Middleton, which was when I worked in the office. It was like a couple blocks away from my office. So it was an easy after work, like, oh, boom, hit the Great Clips. That'll actually be closer to where I'm moving, but I don't even think they're open. So I'm going to have to find a new haircut. I'm going to have to do sport clips or find somebody else, but I'm a creature of habit. I think most of us are, at least in certain things. Getting my haircut, I like my routine, my habit. So that's about all I did yesterday. Get a haircut, went over to the house a couple times. Oh, I was on a podcast yesterday. That was fun. I'm going to have to watch their shows. It was a lot of fun. I was on the Dave and Adams Card World podcast, The Chase. It was a blast. Live show. They go live, I think, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Central. And it was a lot of fun. So you can probably watch the replay somewhere if you didn't catch it live. I sold the Barry Sanders Marvel Metal Universe cards sold during the show. One of the guys said, hey, you posted that Barry Sanders card on Twitter the other day. Are you going to be selling that? Because I mentioned like anything non-Cubs I sell. And I'm like, yeah, actually, it's in my eBay store right now. I listed it last night, which would have been Thursday night. And he goes, really? He goes, well, this is a good time to plug your store. What's your eBay store? I said it. So he's like, I'm going to write this down because I'm going to pull the trigger on that Barry. And like 10 minutes later, the other host said, message in the chat, the Barry's no longer available. Somebody watching the live show, shout out, bought the Barry Sanders Marvel Metal Universe. So thank you for that. That was fun. What else went on yesterday? I got another letter in the mail. I haven't disclosed anything yet, but I got a letter in the mail, which I actually created a video because I got a letter in the mail last week. And it's going to be a big change for people that set up at card shows. And I'm going to share that video. I may go back because I think I'm just going to redo the video because I probably was, because it was such a shock. Now that it's sunk in, I've talked to other people. I'll have a little more information. Maybe before I leave for the weekend, I'll update. I'll just redo the video and post it later today. But it certainly has implications where I'm at. And I think it's going to have implications for many other people. And I do know there are people that will say, well, this is par for the course. We've been doing this for years. So I'm not going to unveil what that is just yet, but I will on my YouTube channel here, hopefully later today. I got a lot of shipping done yesterday. I did a ton of shipping because I wanted to get completely caught up before I left today. But I had my eBay day yesterday was freaking amazing. More than double my goal, my daily goal. In fact, the last 3 days and 4 out of the last 5 days have exceeded the goal. Kind of slower the weekend, which I fully expected to have a slow weekend due to Memorial Day. It wasn't. Friday, Saturday were about where I expected it to be, just below my daily goal. And then all of a sudden, Sunday. I thought would be a little better, but it was actually a little worse than Friday, Saturday. But then all of a sudden, Monday was Memorial Day, was a great sales day, which I thought Monday would be the worst of the weekend. But then I was let down on Tuesday. It was like a wah wah. But then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I've crushed my daily goals. And hopefully that trend continues here over the next couple days. Where are we at in the chat? Todd, good morning. Kyle in the house. Bob Wagner, what's happening? My buddy from Fulton County. Angel Baby Cards, good morning. He's at Chavez Ravine's hindquarters, a.k.a. Central California. Mark Marinello in the house. Holy cow. Angel Baby, you were up really early. I guess I'm on a normal time. So if you're on with me during the week, it's just the same time. I'm just a few minutes later than what I am during the week. By design, I was like passed out on the couch at like 8:30 last night because I wanted to get up early this morning so I could get Hobby Evolution out of the way, shipping out of the way, and get down to A-Town, Annawan. Mark says, good morning. I hopped on during the discussion of hair. I have nothing to offer. John's been cutting his own hair for years. Card Hobbyist, good Saturday morning to you. Angel Baby spent some time last night checking out Topps 2023 Series 2. Interesting, but not very impressed. Flagship's not an impressive product. I would never call any of the Topps flagship sets impressive. And I never get excited, but I get excited about Series 1. Because it's the first set of the year. There's an excitement. There's a buzz. Spring is near. Baseball's coming. Series 2 does nothing for me. I probably won't buy. If I get an itch, I had planned on buying some Topps Heritage. But the plan was last week, and I almost bought a hobby box at the card show last week, the Madison Card Show, and then I totally forgot, spaced out. But I got some singles that I wanted. There's still a couple Cubs singles, but I'll find them eventually and get them. But I always love ripping a box of Heritage or a case. But it's like, Series 2, I've never been a fan of Series 2. Even if there's like rookies that are in there, like this year's rookie class in Series 2 is good. But it's still it's a meh. So, and I'm bogged down with, Bowman still. I'm still listing first Bowmans, the latest palette. So I've just got plenty of other stuff going on. I don't need to be ripping any new wax right now. Where are we at? John says, Bo, oh shit, where are we at? Bo is announcing no pants trade nights at the Madison Card Show. Dave in the house, love your show. I use Card Dealer Pro. How do you do auctions on Card Dealer Pro? I cannot answer that. First off, I don't run auctions. I hate eBay auctions as a seller, so I don't use auctions. And I've never tried it on Card Dealer Pro. So maybe somebody in the chat can help you out. I've never done it, never tried it. So I cannot help you there. Zach and Porter in the house. Shane Koopman's good morning. Angel Baby hasn't gone to bed. There you go. Uncle Rich in the house. For 2023, I won free haircuts for a year at Sport Clips. So I go there and budget time to wait. Love it. I've only been to a Sport Clips once. And the reason why was Great Clips had I could never get in because it was like Memorial Day 2020 during the pandemic when we had been shuttered for 2 months or however long it was. So everybody needed a haircut. So I couldn't get into Great Clips, so I went to Sport Clips and got my shaggy haircut. John says, I had the greatest single day and greatest week in my hobby collecting history. Do tell. Or is that a teaser for your next video? I like it. Where we at? Texas Card Dude, what is up? Good morning, Brad. Let's see. Brad says, don't pull a Keating. Angel Baby says, only thing I am seeing worth buying are the Team Relic logo patches with the player auto. Rich ripped 2 boxes of Heritage. Was fun to rip and enjoy the cards, and I even pulled John K's favorite player, posed with Hall of Famer Bowie. Is it Kuhn or Kuhn? Bowie Kuhn. I know John Kuhn, the football player for the Packers. It was Kuhn because everybody would go Kuhn, and it sounded like they were booing him, but they were actually Kuhning him. Where we at? Let's see. Mark says he added a few caps and some 1971s to the collection. I don't think I added any Cubs from purchases. I did receive some mail days. Let's get to a mail day. Look at this box that came. Look at this. So, shout out to Andy. Almost called you Chris. Shout out to Andy, who's a big Pearl Jam fan. He's been to 25, 30 concerts, and a Cubs fan. So I have no idea what these are, but I'm going to open one. Let's just open one to see. So I'm like, ooh, what are these? So he sent me a whole bunch of cool stuff. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I might get into Stoned Wars. This is like a thick pack. There's something in there. I don't know. That's pretty cool. I don't even want to open it. It says 12 cards in every pack. So then there's this. There's a couple of these. So there's a few of these. So let's just open. There's duplicates of this pack. So let's open one of these just to see what Stoned Wars is all about. Coming soon, exciting Stoned Wars games, paints, puzzles, and other long-playing toys. Oh, from Emek. So Emek is an artist that Andy works with. EmekMerch.com. Check it out. So, Stoned Wars. Holy shit. Oh, I'm going to open all of these. Oh! Hell yeah. And you're like, what are you talking about? Look at that. Eddie Vedder with a Chicago hat. Okay, we might open all these packs. I didn't know. I thought it was like Stoned Wars, just like Star Wars Boom Gaspar on keyboards for Pearl Jam. These were actually the Pearl Jam cards from 2016, which I no longer have any of these cards. I have a couple Eddie Vedder cards because he's actually in a Cubs uniform. I have the guys, the Pearl Jam band members in the Cubs uniforms, but I didn't keep any of the actual cards like this where they're just jamming out. So these were in packs for the 2016 concerts at Wrigley Field, which I attended the Saturday show. Amazing. Best concert I've ever been to. There's actually a documentary, Let's Play 2. So these are the ones I kept. So this is Rob, the clubhouse manager. Oh, man, I love these. Andy, you are the man. I had no idea. I'm like, what are these? Stoned Wars. Matt Cameron, McCready. Oh, these are so cool. So cool. So I won't open the others right now, but maybe we'll save those for a rainy day. So I'm going to save those over there. Okay. So other stuff, but wait, there's more. So some pins. This is by Emek. I think I'm pronouncing that. Bunch of pins. This is really cool. I've got to be careful with this. This matches my so I have the Alive. This is the little thing from the Alive album. And I have I had a spray paint artist in Rome do the album cover with that character from the Alive album. Or the Alive single. Live wasn't the album. The Alive single. So these were fan made for this 2016 concert series. So just a bunch of cool stuff. Pins from various shows. These are fan-made pins. What else? Here's an official. I think this is a stick. Is this a sticker? Where's it at? Let's go. Pearl Jam bumper sticker. So thank you, Andy. Sent me a bunch of cool Pearl Jam merch. And Emek, the artist. Emek has worked with Pearl Jam on a bunch of stuff. So that was a fun mail day. Where are we at? JW in the house, what's happening? John says, I pulled a Keating prior to going to bed. I sleep better that way. Brad says it's like 2020, 2021 all over again. Kyle says, are you hitting Jennings on this trip south? I don't think so. I won't have time. I'm not going to be leaving here until like after lunch, till like 1:30. So by the time I get to Freeport, they'll be just about ready to close for because I think they close at 3 on Saturdays. So my initial plan, my thought was maybe I'll leave around 10. That'll give me a good hour to 2 hours to search. I was disappointed. Jennings was set up at the Midwest premiere a couple weeks ago in Loves Park. And the selection for bargain boxes was bad. Not good. So he didn't bring any of his 50-cent boxes. He had some autograph boxes, but it was just kind of junky autos for $2.50. They were basically dollar autographs. So it was just it kind of like had he had some like good stuff, because I know how much inventory they have in store, and you saw that as well. I would have been excited to go and dig, but now it's like, not missing much. But I do know there's hidden treasure in there. I should hit it up though before the National just to beat the rush, because they'll have some good boxes at the National. John says, I have the 2023 Heritage Ray Kroc. My father loved McDonald's so much that we would hit 6 to 10 of them each day on Ray Kroc's birthday as they were serving free cake. That's awesome. Zach says Bo's birthday is on Tuesday. Looking forward to seeing people in July. Brad's going to be at the National. Ray Kroc's widow was a very generous lady. Look it up. Yes, she was. Bought a lot of second and third homes for cardiologists. John says, I told you my Neil Young Pearl Jam story. Yes. That's an amazing story. T206 kid, Tony, happy Saturday. Sitting in a parking lot now, waiting to walk into a card show in Louisville. Love it. No card shows for me. Next card show for me will be the Madison Card Show, Saturday, June 17th. So starting to fill up on tables. So if you're a dealer looking to get in, let me know, because it'll be another sellout. Saturday, June 17th, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. And then I'll be light on card shows this summer. So June 17th for the Madison Card Show. My next card show, July is going to be, that's move-in month at the new house. So July 22nd is the Madison Card Show, the Saturday before the National. And then I'll be down at the National Wednesday through Sunday. So and then my next card show after that I'll have to look to see the Rockford Janesville August schedule. But otherwise it's going to be the August Madison Card Show. Let's see. Zach says, funny, 50-cent box isn't a bargain to me. At what price point does it stop being a bargain? Anything below $1, I assume for most collectors, not on a budget. So I would consider it actually kind of depends. I still consider, and it also depends on the contents. A 50-cent box could be junk, but a 50-cent box could also be bargains. I've seen quarter boxes that were not bargains, but I've seen dollar boxes that were steals. So it all depends on I wouldn't set a dollar amount. I think it's more on contents and dollar amount. So I mean, a $5 box could be a bargain box. High end, high end dealers, if they're dealing in, cards that are worth hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, they may consider $20 to $50 bargain boxes. And, somebody on a budget may consider $1 and up, not bargains. So it's all in the eye of the beholder. And I think it's mainly based on what the contents are. Do you have the calendar for the rest of the year for the Madison Card Show? Not the rest of the year, but Madison Card Show. Madison Card Show. I'm going to type it in. Madison Card Show dates so far are June 17th, July 22nd, August 26th, and September 30th. October through December TBA. So those are the dates. June 17th, July 22nd, August 26th, September 30th. I have dates set for October, November, December, but I'm not going to even mention them until the contracts are signed, because I've been smacked by announcing them. In fact, going as far as posting them on the Facebook page, and then all of a sudden no contracts are signed. Oh, we got an event on that day, so we have to move you to this day. So those are the dates. So I do have October, November, December, but I'm just waiting for the contracts. Once those are signed, I'll release those dates. Brad's got to start looking for flights. There are direct flights from Dallas to Madison, by the way. I took a nonstop from Madison to Dallas for Collecticon last month. And so my November show, what is the date for the big Dallas? Is it DallasCardShow.com? Let's check it out, because I still want to get in, and I haven't booked anything. I probably should. I should talk to my wife, because I haven't run this by her. Let's see. Dallas Card Show. We want dates. Oh, we want schedule. There we go. So November 2nd through the 5th. That works perfectly, because typically none of my shows are that first weekend. So my plan is November, I think that works out, November 2nd through the 5th, Dallas Card Show. So my plan is that. So once things kind of settle down here, hopefully in the next week or so, my wife's crazed at work. We're crazed with the house. I don't want to say, hey, I'm going to go to Dallas in November. For 3 or 4 days. So I'll talk to my wife and run that. I don't think she has, plus that's her, November is pretty slow for her anyway. And she won't be in Florida with her mom. So that should work. So hopefully I can pin that down here in the next couple of weeks. John says no bargain boxes at Big Al's. Trust me on that. JW says this will be my first full year of selling cards. What do I need at tax time? Hope I don't end up owing. Oh boy. You need a tax guy. So I'm not going to give you, I'm not going to share any advice, because I just go to my accountant and he tells me what to do. I would call a tax professional, an accountant, and go that route. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that goes into it. So call a tax professional, and that's my best and only advice. I can answer some questions. That's just too broad. That's way too broad. So from that, I would just say call a tax professional. But individual questions, I can guide you. Again, it's not professional advice by any means. Shane says, for value boxes, is it better to have them separated by sport or have it all mixed? I would say, typically I like it separated by sport. Most people do. I would suggest at least and a lot of people like them sorted, but have you ever sorted cards? It takes a lot of time. Time is money. it's not worth it, especially if they're quarter boxes. It's just not worth your time to sort cards. And I actually heard, I think when I was in Dallas at Collecticon, and the dealer that I was buying autographs from, and I heard a few people ask, and I know the feeling, because I get this question posed to me all the time with my bargain boxes. But he had a much better answer than me. I'm just like, nope, sorry, they're just all mixed. That's final answer. But he kind of explained why. And it's like, you know what? That's exactly why I don't do it. And it makes perfect sense. I just never thought to answer it that way. But he said they wouldn't be, they would be double the price, because I'd have to spend time, pay somebody to sort them, because it's very time consuming. So at the very least, it's not as time consuming to sort by sport. So I would at least sort them by sport. I've seen some bargain boxes that are all mixed up, which, if they're, and here it is, a content again, if the content is a bargain for like all sports, I'm all about it. And for me, it's a great way to diversify my inventory if the content is good. If the content's just like, if I'm spending, if I'm going through an entire 4-row box and I only find 9 or 10 cards, I just give me the sport, because at least I can pick out baseball. I know the market on baseball. Football, basketball, I'm not as good. So in that regard, I would suggest separate by sport. I think it gives enough people, because you'll lose people if you're not. I sort just by sport, and everything else is just a mess. And I'll have set builders, hey, do you have any 1980 tops? Maybe. I wouldn't recommend starting to dig if you're looking for specific cards from 1980 tops, or really any 1980 tops, because you may spend 2 hours here and find one card. I lost my train of thought on that, but so you may lose. Got it back. So you may lose, like, okay, I'm not gonna spend time looking for Ken Griffey Jr. cards if they're all buried in here, 1980 tops. So you'll lose some of those. Oh, I'm only looking for Cubs cards. Well, you're shit out of luck at my booth. But you have guys that are like customers like me. I'm not looking for specific. I'm not looking for 1980 tops or Ken Griffey Jr. Sometimes I'm specifically looking for Cubs cards. When I'm digging through bargain boxes, I'm looking for, because actually one of my dealers asked me, he's like, do you want me to pull Cubs cards? And I'm like, well, when it comes to like quarter cards and dollar cards, the only cards I'm really looking to buy are like serial numbered cards or colored refractors and stuff like that isn't like I'm not looking for base cards out of a quarter box. So I'm looking for that stuff in bargain boxes. And then I'm looking for deals. And that's what, my main customers, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for prospects that might get hot, or cards they can flip right now, because there's cards in my quarter boxes that you can throw on eBay and make a few bucks. So that's my suggestion. Separate by sport. Let's see. Dan says, hey, what's up, Dan? We won our last regular season game to finish 5-5. Playoffs next weekend. Playoffs? My team won the All-Star game. Very nice. Let's see. Oh, skip too far ahead. Where are we at? JW says, LOL, I get them done professionally anyway. There you go. Talk to your tax guy. Annual reminder that Bo was going to interview his tax guy here. If I'm his tax guy, I'd say they can interview me for my hourly wage. Yeah, I followed up with him, and I did, and he would be great. He would be great. I followed up with him because I mentioned it around. It was around like it was like the end of April, which is like the worst time because I think he's still coming off tax season, and he's like, let's do it in the summer. I followed up with him and we kind of talked. He's like, hey, and we actually had a conversation. He's like, yeah, I want to set up at the card show. And I'm like, oh, that'd be great. Because I was thinking in terms of for being a tax guy and all of these new implications. And he's like, oh, no, I want to set up and like trade, buy and sell cards because his son's getting into it. I'm like, oh, okay. Do that. Let's see. There's no discounts. You don't give me a discount, so I'm not giving you a discount. And then it just kind of fell off. And I've mentioned to it every once in a while, I'll pop in. I'm like, hey, man, card show this weekend. And he hasn't shown. So I'm not going to bug him anymore. Let's see. Sheena in the house. What's happening? On his way to Oak Creek. Good luck today. Good luck. Zach says separate by sport, and that is all. Mike says all my bargain boxes are sorted by sport and team. 100K plus cards. Holy crap. BPL in the house. All of my quarter boxes are sorted by sport as well as my dollar boxes too. JW says Madrigal hitting the ball all over the place since we sent him back down. I think Madrigal's going to be another Mervis. He's going to crush it in AAA and suck in the big leagues. Although Madrigal hit in Chicago. Mervis sucks. So, and I want to say, I'm going to get on a Cubs rant here for a second. In my Cubs chat, somebody mentioned I'm going to talk about Christopher Morel first. Now, Christopher Morel was hitting the ball all over the place, and we have selective memory. We have selective memories, and everybody, when Morel is not in the lineup, people are up and up. Why is Morel not in the lineup? Oh my God. Oh my God. So, I didn't want to just, I had a feeling why Christopher Morel was not in the lineup. This was a few days ago. But I wanted to go to Baseball Reference, and I wanted to actually look to see why. If the reason why I thought it was accurate. And I think this was, let's see, it must have been May 29th. He was not in the lineup. So he hit a home run. So he hit a home run on May 23rd. That's the last time he's hit a home run. But he hit a home run in like, let's see, 9 out of 11 games at one point. So then he proceeded to go, let's see, find the hit column. I'm sure there's a way to drag. Okay. So after his home run game, he goes, shit, I lost the hit column again. Here it is. He goes 1 for 4, 1 for 8, 2 for 11, 2 for 14, 2 for 18. 2 for 18, 2 for 21, 2 for 22, 2 for 26. So since his last home run on May 23rd, Christopher Morel has 2 hits in 26 at-bats. And let's look at his strikeouts because he's a strikeout machine. Let me find the strikeout column. Here it is. So let's see. Home run column there. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn it. Oh, I think I figured out 5. 7, 9, 10, 11. 11 strikeouts, 1, 2 walks. 2 for 26, 11 strikeouts, 2 walks since May 23rd. That, my friends, is why Christopher Morel skips a day or two in the lineup. But we have selective memory on Morel hitting 9 home runs. Now, do we want him sitting on the bench every game? Absolutely not. But to take a day off, he's a young kid. Give him a day off. Let him reset. Matt Mervis sucks. What did I tell you? The beginning of the season when people, we need Matt Mervis. Matt Mervis. My God, Matt Mervis is terrible. So here's Matt Mervis's slash line, 188, 268, 297 slugging. He has 2 home runs, 7 RBI, 24 strikeouts, and 7 walks. Matt Mervis. There's your hero at first base. Where we at? Shane says, thank you for all the info on value boxes. You betcha. JW says, do we just need to send guys down for a bit, bring them back up off and on throughout the season to make things work? I don't think so. These guys are who they are. I don't think in terms of development, Matt Mervis and Christopher Morel, Nick Madrigal, they have shown they can consistently hit well in AAA. they don't need to go back to AAA. They need to figure out big league pitching. And eventually they're either going to figure it out or they're not going to figure it out. And I leave Madrigal. Madrigal's a good hitter. And let's just look at Madrigal, and I haven't looked at his stats, so maybe he was sucking this year too. So Madrigal this year, 247, 286, 301, 13 runs scored. He's not a home run hitter, so his 0 home runs we don't care about. 9 RBI, 13 runs, 2 stolen bases, negative 0.1 WAR. He's a good fielder, okay hitter. He's a great utility player, Nick Madrigal. Matt Mervis is a 4A player. Christopher Morel is going to be a decent major leaguer. Is he going to make multiple all-star games? No, but he's going to be a decent everyday player for the most part. And he just needs more major league at bats. We don't need to send these guys down. They've proved, Matt Mervis had a whole season at AAA last year. He had a month and a half this year. He can mash at AAA. He needs to figure out big league pitching. He either figures it out or he's a career minor leaguer, which that's what I think he is. And that's just what it is. So I don't really think there's much development for the guys that are in the big leagues and are big league ready. I don't think there's any real further development needed from these guys. They just need to figure things out. They need to figure big league pitching out. And I don't think not necessarily going to accomplish that in Des Moines. Good morning, Redbridge. What's happening? Brad says, so if you fly to Madison and set up at the card show, can I write off the flight and hotel? Well, I don't know how you do your taxes, but absolutely. Absolutely. My flight, my hotel down in Mesa for spring training, that's a write-off. Hit up the show, did some deals, did some YouTube. Rich says, I get so much volume and that extra sorting is exactly what Bill would say. It will cost you more money for the extra time. Yes, absolutely. He just said it. He said it much better than how I've ever tried to explain it to customers. John says, University of Iowa long snapper discussion drew me in much more than Cubs 4A player talk. Fun fact, Mike Schmidt batted 196 his first season and struck out twice as much as he walked. Let your eggs hatch. Everything gets written off. Absolutely. Always be writing off if you were in the 1099 game. Hell yeah. Yeah. So just give it time. Let them develop. Sometimes they are who we thought they were. I agree. Most teams just aren't being patient with their young talent. I feel as though you need to let them gain experience up in the majors. It's the only way they will ever get better. And kind of just to bore John further, sometimes they're not in the big leagues because of they're blocked. I understand they're blocked by guys like Eric Hosmer, and that's not ideal when you have talent that's probably better than them. But you have to, go with I'd rather have Eric Hosmer than Matt Mervis right now. Maybe Mervis can figure it out, but right now he's not, and he consistently sucks. And Eric Hosmer consistently sucks as well, but at least he's a veteran. He's been there before. He's got that leadership. He's not a rookie. Yeah, Hosmer was DFA'd. And but I'd rather have him there at this point. But I also was a Matt Mervis hater, and not personally, just I think I've been so outspoken about my dislike for Matt Mervis's playing ability because everybody is so, like, a lot of Chicago fans just get riled up about the next prospect and the backup quarterback. And it's like, sometimes that's the backup quarterback's the backup for a reason. Matt Mervis is in AAA for a reason. John says, one issue is the nanny state, but I'm worried about their confidence. Please accentuate with a Bo impersonation. So Annawan Fun Days is this weekend. I'm going to be heading out this afternoon. I'm going to set the over-under because I'm going to drink a lot of Bud Light this weekend, tonight and tomorrow. And I'm going to set the over-under at 74. How many people will give me crap in rural Illinois for drinking Bud Light? 74 over-under? I'd probably take the over on that. There's a Annawan's a small town, but we come out for fun days. So Annawan Fun Days this weekend, it's basically just an excuse to have class reunions, family reunions, all of that, and then we just drink cheap beer until we can't stand, and then we do it again the next day. So I can only handle like a day and a half of Annawan Fun Days. Now that I'm in my 40s, I can only handle a day and a half of Annawan Fun Days. So back in the day, so I have only missed, and maybe my love for Annawan Fun Days, the genesis for my love of Annawan Fun Days began on June 6th, 1982. It was the day I was born. Annawan Fun. I was a Fun Days baby. I was born at my mom 9 months pregnant, watching the parade at Grandma Ruth's house. And the parade starts at noon. So she watched the parade, and then a couple hours later, she went into labor. And I think I was born at 3 years. Fast birth. You're welcome, Mom. My dad, this is how big Annawan Fun Days is. My dad skipped my birth because he was drinking beer at the Anawan Fun Days car show. He's like, I've been there, done that. You don't need me. So I think my grandma, both my grandmas were there. I don't know who else was there, but my dad's like, you don't need me. I'm at the car show with my cooler of probably old Milwaukee light back. It could have, 82. It could have been Schlitz. I don't know what Dad drank back in the day. Probably, I'd have to go look at old family portraits or family albums, picture albums. Probably an old Milwaukee light. So yeah, Dad skipped my birth, did not go to the hospital with my mom because he was drinking beer at the Anawan Fun Days car show. My dad, he passed away, almost 7 years ago now. So he restored. He was a big gearhead, and so he restored vehicles. Back then, it would have been in '82. It would have been his '55 Chevy, cherry red Chevy pickup. Man, it was actually stolen. He had it stored in a warehouse, no windows. So I think it was somebody that knew. Not too many people knew where it was being held, but we have an idea of who, just never found proof and never found the truck. So it was a cherry red 55 Chevy pickup, beautiful truck. But then his final project was a 69 Chevy black, 69 like a rock is the license plate. So my mom takes it to I think today is the Fun Days car show, or maybe it's tomorrow. I can't remember. I think it might be today. So my mom carries on the Anawan Fun Days car show tradition, and takes my dad's truck down. So I don't think I've ever missed a Fun Days. So I was with soon after. I think I missed 1 year. I think I missed 2000. Gosh, what year was that? 2010. Because my buddy Quincy, who Bink is a Bradford, Quincy is a Bradford guy. He got married out in California, on a cliff in Carmel, and Carmel by the sea. And I think that was in 2009 or 10. I'm trying to think. Might have been 2000. Let's see, 2000. I think that was 2009. So I think I missed the 2009 Anawan Fun Days. Did I miss another? I thought for some reason I missed one for a wedding or something. Maybe not. So Anawan Fun Days, fun time. I'll get to see some old friends, some old family. So I'll go. I'll get there in the evening. I'll probably just hang out with it. Depends. Like I like to lay low on Sunday's my fun day. And I think Sunday is my fun day because it was almost like I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing because Monday's a work day and I'm getting drunk on a Sunday. So I think that's kind of like where it's like, ooh, I'm being bad. Because I'm a badass like that, drinking on Sundays. So then I just decided I'm gonna take Monday off. Because there were a lot of times where I would I'm like, I'll drink, famous last words. I'm gonna drink 3 beers, and then I'll wait a couple hours, and then I'll drive back to Macomb at the time. And so I think what happened one of those days was I drank more than 3 beers. And it ended up being like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, oh shit. So I crashed at my parents' house and then had to wake up super early to make that 2-hour drive to get to work. I'm like, damn, this sucks. And I think that was, and I think I might have done it 2 years in a row. And it's like, this is becoming a trend of Sunday drinking. I'm just going to take Monday off. And so yeah, that was in, and now it's like, and now you just taking Monday off. So I like going down late afternoon and then hang out and just chill. But sometimes depends what if my mom and her friend are having a good, like, oh, let's go to the beer tent. And it's like, oh shit. Now I'm going to stay out past my bedtime. And it's not the consumption of alcohol that gives me the hangover. It's staying up until midnight. That's what makes me feel like shit the next day. I could drink a 12-pack, and as long as I'm passed out by 9, I'm okay the next day. But if I'm up till midnight, I can have 3 beers and be up until midnight, and I'll feel like shit the next day. So I like to kind of lay low on Saturday, and then Sunday I crack open a beer at like 11:45 because the parade starts at noon, and I'm, hey, got my beer. And then after the parade, we go uptown, and then I run into like everybody I've ever known from Annawan, Illinois. And then that's how we roll at Annawan Fun Days. So looking for a fun time. Where we at? Let's see. Texas Card Dude, Bud Light. Love it. Number 1. Bud Light is the king. Bud Light's the king of what? Who is it? Budweiser they call the king of beers. I guess it's the same, just not light. I love Bud Light, and it's my beer. I like Coors Light as well, and I don't give a shit about the politics behind it. You know what I was thinking? People are upset about Bud Light and the rainbow. You know what? Remember Care Bears? Can you imagine if Care Bears came out like today? Like, people would be up in arms. There's a rainbow. There's a rainbow on that Care Bear. We can't be letting our kids watch the Care Bears. Now, like, the rainbow is like, that's the end of a rainbow is where the pot of gold is. And now people are like boycotting things because of rainbows. I grew up with the Care Bears and leprechauns. Rainbows were good. Rich has to go to a baby shower this afternoon. She's a friend of the family and absolutely gorgeous. And her hubby, well, to say it nicely, he's a piece of work. Okay. Tell us how you really feel. Is he a Steve Garvey? He has approached Garvey and a number of kids fathered, and he has youth on his side to pass him and keep going. Steve Garvey. He's the Steve Garvey of Texas. Bo was born during a Bud Light buzz, and he has visiting rights to only one of the 3 kids, not the one on the way that he fathered. Sounds like Sean Kemp. Great jersey, morning. Thank you, Jay. This is an actual like 1988 batting practice jersey. I don't know who had a beer belly, stood about 5'11" back in '88 for the Cubs. Belgians drink Bud Light. I'm trying to think when I go back, what's actually Busch Light is that's kind of the drink of Annawan. Like if Annawan had a beer, like the official beer of Annawan Fun Days is Busch Light. Oh yeah, Busch Light and Casey's Pizza, man. That's the perfect concoction. But yeah, Bud Light. I can say this because I'm not Belgian. I grew up in a Belgian community. They're like fake Belgians. They drink cheap, crappy beer. I mean, I drink cheap, crappy beer too. But like if you're a real Belgian, you're not drinking 4.2% Coors Light, Bud Light, Busch Light. You're drinking 8%. And delirium tremens is like not even like there's higher ABV than delirium tremens. It was called New Milwaukee back then. I'd have more respect if you said a card show. Yep, Dad skipped the card. No D on the card show. Let's see. Shane says, I hate Bud Light, but I think I'm going to start drinking it just to piss people off. And I kind of do. I shouldn't be this way, but I am. It's just who I am. I come to embrace it now. My assholeness. But yeah, now when I order a Bud, like I like make sure the whole room hears me. I want a Bud Light. Just to piss people off. Why are you drinking Bud Light? They got rainbows on their cans. Real men drink Pabst Blue. PBR me ASAP. I think one of the bars in Annawan actually has a PBR sign from like 1978. So your dad skipped your birth for beer and cars. Who was his favorite NASCAR driver? Dale Earnhardt, man. He was an Earnhardt guy. He loved his NASCAR. He loved dirt track racing. I don't know, Kyle, have you heard my story of my side gig as an dirt track announcer? So back, and if you have, I'm going to tell it again. So when I lived in Macomb early on, might have been my first, actually, I think it was my first summer, maybe my second summer that I was working in radio in Macomb. And we had the Macomb Speedway. Don't let the name fool you. It was this shitty dirt track. I think it was a rare track, and I don't know racing, so you can help me out here, but it was a 5th mile, which I think that's rare. Like most tracks are not 1/5 of a mile, but it was perfect because they had a great catchy. It was like a fifth of fun or something like that. And of course, they're, play on words with whiskey and all that. A fifth of fun. So I was asked to be the track announcer because they're like normal track announcer died or retired or something. And so they asked me to do it. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like how much, they'll pay me like $50. And I'm like, damn, that's, how much Busch Light you can buy with $50 when you're 21 years old, 22 years old. That was like, I can have a lot of fun at the Pace tonight. So I did have a lot of fun at the Pace tonight because the damn races lasted until like midnight. So I did track announcing. And so my dad was like thrilled. He thought this was like the greatest job that I'll ever have in life. The Macomb Speedway track announcer. He's like, we're coming down. So my mom and dad came down and, I didn't do a bad job. I don't think. I mean, people probably just felt bad for me. I did well enough that they asked me to come back the following week, and I said no thanks. It is not worth it. I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it. It was fun for a night, but I'm just not gonna come back. So there was another guy my same age who actually sadly passed away. I think he had colon cancer, died at a very young age. Matt was his name. And so Matt was a hustler. Like he would, like for me at that point in my life, it wasn't worth like, and you're like $50 wasn't worth your time. What was I doing? What was the opportunity cost? Partying, spending money at the Pace was the opportunity. Matt was a hustler. Like, he was going to choose money over party. I chose party over money at that point in my life. So Matt took over the job and he did it. He's like, dude, it's awesome. And I'm like, good. I hated it. So my mom and dad would come down and they would go all over. They would go to Iowa tracks, Princeton, Illinois, at Bureau County, where else? Makokata, Iowa. Where else would they go? Bluegrass or somewhere out that way, somewhere in Iowa. They'd go to dirt tracks and other tracks all the time. So that's a long answer to your question. His favorite NASCAR driver, Dale Earnhardt. Let's see. Where are we at? Real men drink 40s of Old English. Paul says, being from Wisconsin, next time you tell the story, you had 15 beers. Yeah, that's how our stories go. Sunday Fun Day. That's how we roll. I'm imagining the strain put on the Annawan wastewater treatment facility on the day after. It's got to be brutal. And I've got to get some video. I've talked so much about Annawan Fun Days today. I've got to take some video tonight if I go uptown. Now, I'm disappointed. For all my life, we have called the business district in Annawan uptown. And I always thought it was because there's a hill, and I lived kind of at the bottom of the hill as you're going out of town. And so to go to the business district, we had to go up to get to town. Had to go uptown. And it wasn't like downtown. And other people called it uptown as well. But I was disappointed to read in the Annawan, Village of Annawan post about Annawan Fun Days, it had like activities in downtown Annawan. I'm like, downtown? I've never heard of that. Why? Who's in charge of this marketing? It's uptown. So if we go uptown tonight, try to take some. Every year I say that. I'm going to take videos, I'm going to take pictures, and I end up taking like one photo of like me walking in like a crowd of people. Here's Annawan Fun Days. And then I take a photo of like my brother driving in the Fun Days parade. Kyle says, that's awesome. Your dad was a good dude. I believe I was at the Macomb dirt track one time. Fifth of fun. See, it would have been, when I was there, it would have been probably May or June. It was hot. It was like the middle of summer. It might have been, I think it was July actually, because I think they asked me to do it at Heritage Days, which is the Fun Days, the equivalent in Macomb of Annawan Fun Days, Macomb Heritage Days. And I think they add like the owner's daughter who kind of like ran the track. I think she came up to me at Heritage Days at our tent in the park, Chandler Park, and said, hey, would you do our track announcing next week and the rest of the summer? I'm like, cool, $50. Yeah, I'm in. And I think Matt was there with me, and he's like, oh man, I want to do it. He just wanted the money, which is what I wanted too, but I also wanted to have fun, and I didn't have fun. So it probably would have been July of 2003, because I don't think Matt was working with us in 04. I think he was, because he was a student at WIU. That would have been his senior year. Maybe he just, I don't know. Anyway, so I think it would have been July of 03. Zach says, John, you were saying if this is a majority of the area has indoor plumbing, I can't confirm nor deny that. Bo's descriptions has me uncertain of the percentage. Rich says, I get the convo about being the racetrack PA guy, kind of related. I led services last night, and I was so drained because you don't want to mess up too much. Yeah, that's the thing. And I don't know racing. Like, it's kind of like I was asked to do play-by-play for the Illinois high school volleyball state finals several years ago. And I had done, like, I knew some of the terms, but volleyball's really fast. And I just, and I had to do it solo. I didn't even have like somebody to like explain, because I couldn't explain what was going on. I could explain the play-by-play. But other than that, it's like, and I knew my strengths and my weaknesses, and volleyball broadcasting was a weakness. And I told Matt at the IHSA, I'm like, hey man, thank you for inviting me. I don't want to do volleyball. It's a disservice to your listeners and viewers of me broadcasting volleyball. Good morning, Cooter. Racetrack events and services related is a bit of a stretch, but nice try. Hey, it's all about, I understand where Rich is coming from, because it's not just, it's the announcing and the talking not as much the actual content of what you're announcing. Same with like my PA with the Peoria Chiefs. It's like I was so like, you're just like so nervous because you don't want to screw up in front of thousands of people, hundreds of people, tens of people. So I get it. Kyle says, I love watching dirt track racing, but announcing that would be extremely difficult. Well, I'm glad you said it. Yeah, I don't even remember like how, like, because my background was play by play. And I mean, I was still like, I was a toddler in broadcasting at that point in time. So I just wanted to revert to play by play. And I'm like, how do I not, like, I think I even like after the first race, I'm like, oh my God, how do I do this? Like, what do you want me to do? They're like, you're doing fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, is this a joke? Are you telling me to laugh at me and make fun? Are you somewhere in like a closet somewhere laughing at me? Oh, this guy, listen to this guy. Like, really? Cooter says, if there's not dirt in your beer, you are not at a real race. Cooter and my dad would have been racing buddies, watching races. I tried to get into rate like 1 year. Tried to get into NASCAR, and I didn't do it. I had friends like in high school and college that would do dirt track racing. I love demo derbies. My brother and now my nephew's big into demo derbies. That's fun because you're like crushing things, because that's the most exciting part of a race for me is the crashes, as long as nobody's hurt. But just racing just doesn't appeal to me. So that's what I had for today. I'm gonna start shipping so I can get to Annawan, and hopefully I will post. I'll definitely post in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, we may have some new viewers since it's an early weekend. So let's get that link in the chat for our Hobby Evolution Facebook group. I haven't shared this link in a while. Hey, we're up to 258 members. So there's some good conversation going on. There's the link. So check out Hobby Evolution Facebook group. I'll try to post some photos in Facebook, in the Facebook group, and I'll try to do something, a collage or a video of Annawan Fun Days and how we roll at Annawan Fun Days. Shane says racing is pretty boring. I would agree with that. John says Big Al subscribes to the same motto Cooter just laid on us, right? Who's been to Big Al's? Peoria, Illinois. So with that, I'm going to take off. Oh, Brad is in. Let's get you at it. Brad asked to join. You are approved. 259 members strong. Thank you. So, that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit up the Facebook group, Hobby Evolution. eBay store. I added some new stuff in the eBay store yesterday. I found in the Goodwill pallet, I found a box of basically, it looks like a dealer's quarter box. It looks like somebody's quarter boxes that they just decided to get rid of. So there's a lot of good stuff that'll appear in my quarter boxes and in my eBay store. There was a stack of 87 TCMA minor league cards that were pretty cool. I love old minor league cards, so I added a bunch of those to the store last night. I finally added my hits from Bowman. The Drew Jones refractor to $3.99 is up, which has dropped significantly in value. I think the comps when I pulled it was 150. Now the comps are around 80. Same with the DePaula, Jose DePaula green auto. That's in my eBay chat. I do have some nice offers on that, so that might sell this weekend. I found a Jason Witt for my Cowboy fans. I found a Jason Witten Topps Gold rookie, and I think it was in, I don't know if it was in this Goodwill pallet or the last Goodwill pallet. I think it was in the last Goodwill pallet. And I'm like, oh, hey, Jason Witten rookie. Like, I might put this in the quarter box, but I'm going to set this aside since it is a rookie card. Do you know how much a Jason Witten Topps Gold rookie card is worth? Because it's a lot more than a quarter. I looked it up. There's like none on eBay until mine. One sold for, I think like, maybe there's one at auction, but it's at like $60 with like 4 days remaining or something. So I listed it in my eBay store for $75 or best offer. I got like a $20 offer. I'm not going to take that. But I was shocked. Now I got to see if that Jason Witten. By the way, just sold a bunch of Packers cards this morning. By the way, if you have any Jason, or I'm looking at Jason Witten. Oh, there's a $45 offer on Jason Witten. If you have any Jackson Holiday, and they sold for, with the exception of a bulk deal, sold for $250 a card for like 50 of them. I've sold 250 of them, mostly between $4 and $6 a card. Jackson Holiday. All of my 2023 Jackson Holidays have sold. Ellie De La Cruz is hot. So Jackson Holiday and Ellie De La Cruz, I cannot keep in my eBay store. Those are hot sellers. Jason Witten. I just want to see if that $44 or $45 Topps Gold rookie. Because I think there's one at auction right now. Oh, maybe not. There's not one at auction. So I'm looking at like ComC has some on eBay, but their cheapest is like $57. $57.75 plus shipping. So like 63. Was it a sold? So there's one listed for 63. And one sold in April for 56. So I think I'll probably counter those offers. So it's not 75, but I think in the $50 to $60 range is going to be the sweet spot. Fun fact, Jason Witten never played in a Super Bowl. Shane says that's what happens when you play for the Cowboys. Yeah, it's that Dallas tax. The Cowboys tax. Cowboys are the pro football team representing the Dallas area. Thank you, Zach and Porter. Dallas or Dallas? I think I pronounce it both ways, kind of like root and route. I say both interchangeably. Route and root. Dallas and Dallas. 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 Only thing good about Texas is the bass fishing. And the good people. The good people in Texas. All right, now I'm going to leave for real this time. So have a great, best thing out of Texas is I-45. So thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit my eBay store. Join the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. Stay tuned for more content. I'm going to try to get video of house renovations up. And then I want to get some Annawan Fun Days. I also have some, if you're a card show dealer, some news that I want to put up as well. So hopefully I can get all that done by the time I leave for A-Town, Annawan. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Back live on Tuesday